I start off as a child, as a Bhagavad student, and they say, pray to Lord Shiva. Right? So the child is different, Lord Shiva is different. That's our typical foundation for spirituality. But as we try to understand Lord Shiva more, we see a lot of qualities of Lord Shiva and us are the same. So we start to realize, hey, there must be some connection between me and Lord Shiva. I'm just using Lord Shiva as an example. And that means I'm a part and Lord Shiva is the whole. And as I think about it more, when I understand that what is exclusive of infinity? Nothing. That includes me. That includes you and all of us. If we truly understand that idea of infinitude, of infinity, what can be separate from it? And so all that remains is one. That's it. And that's why when I told that story of Brahmana Maharishi, when they went to him and said, what are you doing for the freedom fight? His vision is of oneness. Nobody's fighting. No one's being freed. No one's enslaved. No one's dying. No one's being born. Doesn't science say the same? That energy is neither created nor destroyed. It only changes shape or form. This is what we've been talking about the last 3 discourses. Names and forms come and go, but the essence is always there. When you take this 170 pounds and it dies, this 170 pounds doesn't disappear. Some of it goes into energy that's just, you can't see. Some of it turns into earth. The water goes back to where the water is. That 170 pounds remains. When that sun the sun is shrinking, it doesn't mean that that's just disappearing. That energy is being transferred throughout the solar system. That energy is stable. There's an equilibrium there. Same goes when Ramana Maharshi opens his eyes and they're asking him this question. Who's coming, who's going? There's just being. There's just oneness. There's just Advaita. It is such a liberating thought. It is such a logical thought too. This idea of Advaita. This is what drew me to Chinmaya Mission. Someone who went to business school, someone who's been involved in business his whole life. It was so logical, it was so rational, it made so much sense, it's so calculated. You know, ignoring all the faith and the belief and all the subjective aspect of it, this made sense. And because it made sense, then if it's infused with belief and faith, it becomes very powerful. It becomes moving. Now, as I'm talking about this evolution of thought, we often think and associate spirituality with love. That a spiritual person is a loving person. And when we think of love, we tend to think of a mother and a child. That mother identifies so much with that child. When the child gets hurt, the mother gets hurt. When the child is sad, the mother is sad. And initially couples are like that too. Then they become Dvaitis. But they start off as Advaita, Vedanta, and then it breaks off. Why I'm saying this is that if we truly want to love, there has to be that concept of oneness. In Vedanta, the gauge of love and growth is empathy. The ability to identify with another person. And if I can completely identify with you, then I am you. Our names and forms are different. Yes, acknowledge, no one's denying that. But I am you. Your pain is my pain. Your joy is my joy. Love. Love and Vedanta are synonymous too. Vedanta and self-development, they're synonymous as well. Think about this concept of love. Identification. When we really identify with someone, that means we love them. But you're suffering from pain and I don't have no idea what it feels like, or I don't care. That's not love. Just because we exchange rings or we stay in the same house, that's not love. Love is, I see you suffering and I'm going to do something about it. That's empathy. We tend to get stuck on sympathy. I doubt anyone in this room is apathetic. Apathy is hatred. I don't think that this is a hating kind of audience. Sympathetic, I would say most of us. We see our neighbor's problem, I feel for them, and then we go about our own way. Sympathy can be equated to fear. that I know you have an issue, but I'm scared to do anything about it. I'm scared to take that extra step. Empathy is love. I see your struggle. I feel your struggle. I will do what it takes to help you out of that struggle. And vice versa, of course. Love. This Advaita Vedanta is love. So if we want to invoke love, this is the type of thinking that will come to mind. And these aren't just Ramana Maharshi's words. For anyone who studied, I taught this last year, Vivekji, and I taught the qualifications of a spiritual student. Shloka 31 teaches about bhakti. And what Adi Shankaracharya defines as bhakti, the most revolutionary description of bhakti. The aspiration or the efforts invested to try to understand the self is bhakti. Trying to know oneself, that person is a bhakta. We again think bhakta, the tears being shed and running around like this. A bhakta is one who wants to know who they are. And then in Srimad Bhagavatam, and even our Bhagavad students are taught this, the Navada Bhakti. You've all heard of Navada Bhakti before? The 9 different forms of bhakti. You're saying yes, but you mean no. So the 9 different forms of bhakti are Shravana, listening to the glories of the Lord. Kirtana, singing the glories of the Lord. Smarana, remembering the Lord. Padasevana, worshipping the Lord in murti form. Then Archana, offering one's self, one's possessions to the Lord. Then Bandhana, prostrating to the Lord. Then Dasya. Dasya means becoming a servant of the Lord. One starts being a servant of the Lord. How? Exactly what we talked about in verse 5. Service. Then Sakya. One becomes a friend of the Lord. For anyone who's been around when I teach meditation, we always begin seeking the blessings of the Lord and the Guru. With the Lord, we visualize the Lord embracing us. And that divine love flows through us and moves us. And with the Guru, we prostrate to his or her feet, and that divine wisdom flows through us. Without God and the Guru, meditation cannot be deep, effective. See, it's all here. Be the servant of the Lord. Be the friend of the Lord. And then finally, Atma Nivedana. Offering oneself to the Lord. And when we offer ourselves to the Lord, what remains then? Only the Lord. I am no longer there. We chant, Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. What that prayer means is, that is complete. Meaning referring to the Lord. This is complete. Referring to the individuality. From that completeness came this completeness. When this completeness is taken away, what remains? Completeness. All that there is oneness. Just completeness. Year after year, day after day, we chant Purnamadav Purnamidam. And it's the most profound message of Advaita Vedanta. And in and out. Such depth to this prayer. That's all we have to study. We can do a whole retreat on just this shloka. All that remains is one. Again, Ramana Maharshi opens his eyes and says, who's going? Who's coming? There's just being. Inspire, love, be. That's the essence of this meditation. Just be. What's awesome about this too is that our own experience is confirming that. Everyone taking a deep breath in through the nose, and listen while you're doing it. Exhale through the nose. So hum. So hum. So hum. So hum. So hum. Saha, he. Aham, I. He is I am he. The Lord is me, I am the Lord. Our own breathing confirms that. So, he am I. He am I. Why? The pranas are sourced from the Lord. Our own experiences are confirming that. And all of you are looking at me like, wow, he's really crazy. And he has way too much faith. Yes, that crazy no, faith, yes. But our own experiences confirm that.